Talk is about kicking RSD's butt. So, thank you. So for those of you that may not know, RSD stands for rejection, sensitivity, dysphoria, and basically it's about a fear of rejection, a fear of criticism that runs very deep in neurodivergent folk. So I'm sure many of you here know where I'm coming from with this. And if you don't, that's fine, because you're going to learn and then you can support other people as well. So, how did I overcome RSD? I won't say I've overcome it fully, but I have managed to kick its butt massively over the last 3 or 4 years. It's quite a common fact that us neurodivergent folks have thousands more negative messages than our neurotypical peers throughout our whole lifetime. And those messages may be verbal. Oh, you're lazy. Oh, if only you could try harder. Or, you know, you're so loud, you're too much, you're too dramatic. You're so over the top. It might be non-verbal, the eye roll, the slight raise of the voice when you ask a question. These messages become very often, and it happened for me, internalised. I didn't question it. I didn't say, well, actually, I know I'm a bit messy, but actually I'm a good person. No, I didn't question it. I just took it on as my truth. And I know lots of you do too, because I work with lots and lots of neurodivergent people, and it breaks my heart. It really does. To know that people have been through a lot of suffering through no fault of their own. Not necessarily the fault of other people either, okay? I mean, I could stand here and slag off all my stupid teachers, but I have moved through that grief, and I have felt angry towards my stupid teachers. That's not what I'm here to do, okay? I want to help you and help other people, hopefully. So we see it, we start to believe it as our truth. And being autistic as well, you know, there's the literal, this is a great book, isn't it? Hold on. My little book. The literal understanding as well. So I don't know about you, but I honestly thought other people's opinions were the truth. I didn't realise there was not like a different fact or opinion. So what does this do? This kind of batters your self-esteem, let's say. We can become perfectionists because we're adapting to what we think other people want from us. And that is pretty intense stuff, right? Or what we become who we think other people want us to be. Just through, not just, but through this messaging that we receive. If I'm perfect, if I do everything right, they're not going to be disappointed in me. I'm not going to be disappointed in myself if only I do everything right all of the time. Those standards are too high. How can you do everything to a high standard all of the time? If you do, I commend you, but it's exhausting and it takes a toll on the mental health. We become chameleons, we adapt. Or, if that's not you, maybe you're triggered by feelings of shame and you lash out. Shout out, hit out. You know, this can be the underlying side of RSD. Not always, but it can be. So we lash out or we avoid anything to stop the painful feelings. It works, it serves a purpose, but it's only temporary until the next fear of criticism or judgment comes along. So our nervous systems are always on high alert, watching out for the next criticism. Now where's the bit? I think I might have skipped a bit, but not that you needed to know that. So annoying, I'm so annoyed with myself, but yeah, the fear. You're at work and your manager says, "Can I have a quick word?" What does the inner critic, what does the ego think? Shit, what have I done wrong? What have I done wrong? Okay, and that the nervous system is on high alert. It's thinking there's a threat. Okay, so then it starts helping you act in ways to avoid that threat. Avoid the meeting, melt down, you know, get in a state. Yeah, so that's that one. Quick word. What about when somebody doesn't text you back? Does your inner critic then say, "Oh my gosh, what have I said? What have I done to upset them?" This may or may not be you. But the inner critic, that ego part of our brain, which is trying to keep us safe, so it then starts telling us stories. I must have done something wrong. What have I done to upset that person? Then start thinking about all of the possibilities. Was it the way I said that? Was it because I didn't text them back 3 years ago? You know, all these ridiculous scenarios, but they don't feel ridiculous, do they? They feel harsh. Quick word, ego. So do we have to put up with RSD? Is it something we have to put up with and learn to live with? Rhetorical question, well done. I don't like those. I'd be sitting there going, no. So thank you. No, we don't have to put up with it. It can be helped. It can be overcome. And I'm not saying you just click your fingers and think, "Oh, I'll think a different thought and everything will be okay." That would be ridiculous. But it can be helped, okay? How can it be helped? We need to connect with the truth, our truth, okay? Sandra, let's say, hopefully there's no Sandra in the room. If there is, it's not personal, just a random name. Let's say Sandra thinks you're too loud, okay? And she said so on a few occasions. Sandra could be your friend. You know, it can be even more hurtful when it's a friend, but they get a bit embarrassed when you're animated. Whose problem is that? Thank you. It's a rhetorical question, but it works well as a open question. I don't know. Anyway, it's Sandra's problem. So if Sandra is feeling a certain way because you are being loud, okay, that's nothing to do with you, and that is everything to do with Sandra. Because Sandra is projecting her feelings. She's feeling uncomfortable. Sandra might be one of these people that is really concerned with what everyone else thinks. Again, that's about Sandra. She may project that onto you. "Oh, be quiet, those people are looking over at us." You know, that's not about you. Yes, you may have raised your voice and been animated, why not? You know, you're human, you're you can be who you like. But that is about Sandra. And she's trying to get rid of those painful feelings by projecting it onto you. So there is a lot of thought that goes into this, but when you start thinking about things in this way, you realise that what anyone says or thinks about you is not about you. And I know that might sound a bit weird or hard to believe, but there's a book called The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. It's a fantastic book, life-changing in my experience. And one of the agreements is don't take anything personally. It's hard to believe, but when you apply what I've just said and read the book, so they can read it and understand better than what I've just said, it makes sense. And we suffer when we think someone's having a go at us, and they might be, of course, you know. But when we know that it's not about us and that we are good people with good intentions, then it doesn't hurt so much. So coming back to our truth. What is the truth here? Yeah, I can be a bit loud on occasion. I'm not a bad person. My intentions are good most of the time. But when we come back to our truth, that is when we can reclaim our power. Because every time we think somebody is having a go at us, and they might be, I'm not dismissing that, but every time we take it personally, we are giving them our power. And it hurts, it's horrible, it feels like it's never going to end. The pain is physical, you know that, right? So take it back, take a step back, and realise that you can take that power back. And that is pretty special. So, I've gone off script. I don't even do scripts. Anyway, my pretend script. So my lovely friends, how do we build ourselves up after thousands, millions of negative messaging? We come back to who we are, we build our self-esteem, we talk about ourselves and think about ourselves in a nice way. Okay, I'm pretty sure you wouldn't say to your friend, oh, you're so ridiculous, you forgot my birth. No, I do forget friends' birthdays. You know, I bet you don't talk to your friends the way you talk about yourself, whether that's in your head or out loud. Okay, so if I was Polly Parton, if she was here, she'd probably have you doing a pledge or something. But what I ask my friends is be kind to yourself, be compassionate to yourself, and remember what anyone says or thinks about you is not about you. Thank you very much. And can you welcome your next speaker, Miss Susie Payton? I was going to start running around going, come on, but I'm